In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today, we look at internal controls for third parties in a best practices compliance program. About 10 years ago, the UK pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline got into big trouble for payment of bribes in China. One of the interesting things about the case was that the Chinese business unit self-funded the bribes through cheating of the corporation in expense reports. There are two ways of paying bribes in China, or two main ways, direct and indirect. And Chinese pharmaceutical companies say that they paid out enormous sums in sales expenses, including travel costs, fees for sales meetings, marketing, business development, and other expenses. Most of these expenses were for travel costs or meeting fees, and in some cases netted multiples of the net profits the companies earned each year. It would be reasonable to expect that internal controls over gifts would be designed to ensure that all gifts satisfy required criteria as defined and interpreted by company policies. It should fall to compliance to finalize and improve a definition of permissible and non-permissible gifts, travel, and entertainment, and internal controls will follow from such definition set by the company. This criteria would include the amount of the spend, localized down to the increased risks, such as the higher risk recognized in China. Within this context, there are four general internal controls to consider. 1, is it the correct level of person approving the internal controls? 2, are there specific controls that the gift had a proper business purpose? 3, are the controls regarding gifts sufficient rather than preventative, rather than relying on detect controls? And 4, if the controls are not followed, is that failure detected? There are 10 inquiries you can make regarding the compliance internal controls specific to third parties. 1, did management confirm and align controls with the business strategy? 2, can the third party's activities be viewed as predatory, discriminative, or abusive? 3, does the compliance regime include policies and procedures to manage the third party relationship? 4, was adequate due diligence conducted that included a review of available knowledge about the third party? 5, are expectations and obligations of both the company and the third party outlined in a written contract? 6, does a board of directors review and approval any material to a third party relationship? 7, does a contract outline fees to be paid, management information reports, audit rights, and other key contractual terms and conditions for compliance? 8, did the board initially approve the third party relationship, and is it reviewed on an annual basis? 9, is there a process to verify a company's operations are consistent with the written agreement? And 10, does management allocate sufficient qualified staff to monitor these activities? The area of third-party internal controls can be dynamic, and the three key takeaways are: we have one very big example of their failure with GSK. 2, general areas for compliance review of internal controls that we've talked about. And 3, third parties are still the highest risk of corruption, so you need to take care to put aggressive internal controls in to protect your organization going forward. One of of the things that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip. Either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced with the assistance of AI.